This episode of the Outline Podcast is brought to you by Audible. Many of us are faced with the desire of wanting to read more, but we don't have the time. Well, that's what audiobooks are for. Use Audible. They have everything that you would read in audio formats. You can get one free audiobook and a 30-day trial to listen to it. You can redeem this by going to www.audibletrial.com/outlinepod. Once again, that is www.audibletrial.com/outlinepod, or you can just click the link in the show notes. Anywho, let's begin this thing.
The Outline with Kevin Dwayne, Kevin Dwayne, The Outline, with Kevin Dwayne, The Outline, with Kevin Dwayne, This is the Outline with Kevin Dwayne, Kevin Dwayne, with Kevin Dwayne.
Yo, welcome to the Outline Podcast, a weekly discussion of what's trending in pop culture, the LGBT community, and a piece of encouragement for everyone. Thank you so much for joining another show. I hope your week is going super well. I will be on vacation next week, and I just have this thing about, I don't know if I'm bringing it on myself, if I'm manifesting it, but it's something about when you're going on vacation where it seems like you're the most busiest before you go. It seems like you get assigned all the projects at work. Everybody wants you to do something. Everything is super crazy. And that's what I'm experiencing now. Like, I'm spending more time just kind of making sure everything is in line. So when I'm gone, everything, won't blow up. And then on top of that, photography was picking up over the last weekend. So I have a bunch of clients that I have to get photos to. And this is all great stuff. And I'm grateful for it. But it's like, Jesus, just get me through the week so I can go on vacation and enjoy myself. Speaking of that, since I'll be on vacation, there will not be a show next week. However, on the first week of May, we have a really great podcast for you. So it's going to be 1 week off, but when I come back, I'm actually going to have the two leading actresses from a new show called Vita on Stars. The show premieres May 6th, which is Sunday at like 9 p.m. on Stars. Great show. Well, the two lead actresses, Michelle Prada and Melissa Barrera, are going to be interviewed by who? By me. Well, the interview already happened. It's just a matter of the show actually coming out. But it was a great talk, great stuff, and I think you guys are going to enjoy it. So coming back with the bang. So it's going to be 1 week off because I need a vacation too. Don't you agree? Please say you agree. I'm a human, y'all. Like, I got to have time off. So no show next week, but coming back with the bang, and I hope you guys miss me a little bit. You got to keep it fresh. You got to make them miss you. I can't be here all the time, See how you guys do with a week of me being off. And also, yeah, whatever. So no show next week, but I will be back the following week. So it won't be a long period of time. And I realized something. A lot of podcasts have seasons. What do you guys think about the Outline podcast having seasons? Would that be like a thing? I know you guys are going to be like, nah, you need to be here every week. But like, seriously though, should this be like a seasonal thing? Like, should I like take longer breaks in between to like plan and, do right by the show? Granted, I love showing up every week for you guys, but once again, this is still, ideas to just think about. I don't want to put too much pressure on you. I don't want you guys to get mad at me. So let's just move on. I'm sorry. But I want to take a second to just shout out my international fans. I've never done that before, and I apologize to you all because I never even thought to do it. I was checking my analytics and my demographics recently. I do it I do it weekly. I'm always looking and seeing where my listeners are, but lately I've really been kind of investigating and I'm like, wow, I actually have a lot of international listeners. Now, the majority are in the States, but there are a lot of you that I just want to shout out really quickly. So there are 61 of you in the UK. Thank you so much for listening. 41 of you in Sweden. Come through, Sweden. Thank you for listening. There are 4 of you in Germany. And what I love about these low numbers is that if there are 4 of you, chances are if you're listening right now, you know I'm talking to you. Thank you so much, Germany, for listening. 3 of you are in Japan. There's 3 in Canada. There's 2 in Thailand, 1 in the United Republic of Tanzania, 1 in Brazil. And also, now that the show is on Spotify, there are also listeners in New Zealand, Indonesia, Mexico, the Philippines, Australia, Belgium, Norway, and France. Listen, I'm international, y'all. This is so dope. Like, this is what makes this so cool. The fact that I can record this out of Atlanta, Georgia, depending on who you ask, I live outside the perimeter, but whatever. I can record this in Atlanta, Georgia, and people across the world can hear me. And I think that's amazing. So shout out to you all across the pond. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for taking a chance on American Me. I hope you continue to enjoy the show, but I just wanted to say, I see you. Thank you so much for listening. Like, that is just the dopest thing ever. But also my people in the States, the US, thank you. Shout out to you. My demographics has also taught me that my top cities are as follows. Number 1, which I was shocked by this, Chicago. Chicago has my biggest listenership, if that's even a fucking word. Is that a word? Listenership? Whatever. A lot of my listeners are in Chicago. Then comes Atlanta, which makes sense because I'm in Atlanta. Once again, depending on who you ask. OTP, whatever. And then San Francisco, then DC. I have some people in the Midwest. I got people in New York. Like, it's just, you guys are all over. And I think that is just the dopest thing. Like, I literally record this show and people all over are listening. Like, I can't even explain how dope that is. It's super dope, especially when I'm just on here talking shit. But, whatever. Thank you. I thank you all. I appreciate you all. Please reach out to me. Please continue to be engaged using the hashtags and emailing the outlinepodcast@gmail.com. I would love to see your questions. And if you just want to leave a compliment or whatever, I appreciate it. Engage with me. I love that you guys are all over the place and I would love to hear from you. So thank you so much for your support and your time, because that's really what this is about. You guys are spending your valuable time on this earth listening to me for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, or whatever. And I truly appreciate it. But that's enough about that. I don't want to ramble too long, but thank you so much. That means a lot to me. It really, really does. So yeah. So Coachella, Beachella, officially Beachella was over the weekend, and then weekend 2 is coming up. Super exciting stuff. So I'm a Beyonce stan, and there's no secret there. So I expected the show to be great because, it's biased. It is what it is, and Beyonce doesn't deliver anything but greatness. But I will say this last performance was one that was very iconic. Once again, she has topped herself. Beyonce's always topping herself, and she's always putting herself in a new playing field. You know what I mean? I told Jared Hill, who was on the show last year, I think it was Life of a Creative was the episode. We were talking, and I was like, you know what? Beyonce is on another world. Not a level. She's on another world. Like, she literally has separated herself from so many other artists, where it's like, it just is what it is. So the performance was amazing. I'm sure every other podcast, like every network, everyone's talking about it. Like, what can I say that you haven't heard already? It was a phenomenal performance. Like 2 hours of hardcore dancing. The theme of the HBCU was amazing. The outfit changes were dope. Destiny's Child reunion. Solange up there dancing. Jay-Z coming out with that crazy ass hair he will not let go of. But whatever. It was a phenomenal fucking performance. And I'm at the point now, and I've been this way for the last maybe 2 albums. I don't entertain any negativity when it comes to Beyonce. Like, criticism is one thing. No one's above criticism. No one is above criticism. But detraction and ignorant ass hate just to hate, I don't entertain that shit, because there's literally people that I've had to unfollow just because they're just annoying when it comes to Beyonce. And I mean this shit. I don't give a fuck. Unfollowed. I don't have time for it in my life because you're obviously an idiot. Well, I'm kind of serious, kind of not serious, but I digress. It's like you just get tired of people who, it's not even, just like being a Beyonce stan is a trendy thing, being a Beyonce hater or a detractor is a trendy thing too. It's like you kind of fall in line. And it's very interesting with someone of her stature and her fame that is like, it literally is like, every time she does anything, it's always this crazy ass divide that you don't see with any other artist. And it just blows my mind. It absolutely blows my mind. I know that if I talk about Beyonce, there are a few people that I actually know who are going to pop in my comments and say some stupid shit. Like, I expect it because they always do it. I'm like, this has become your brand. Like, you literally seek out people who are fans of her just so you can jump in the comments and talk shit. Like, what's going on in your life that's your thing? Like, really, like, how did you get to this point that is your thing, to seek out Beyonce fans just so you could talk shit? Like, that's so trash to me. And I'm just over it. Like, I'm absolutely over it, especially after this weekend. She's been in the game so fucking long, and she's etched out a space that only she exists in. Like, people try their hardest to convince others that they aren't impressed or they're just simply underwhelmed by her. And it's just like, who are you fooling? Like, here's the thing. It's one thing to simply not be a fan. That's completely fair. There are a lot of people that I'm not a fan of, but I still respect their talent. I still respect, what they bring to the table. I'm not into it. That's completely fine if you're not into Beyonce. Completely fine. That's not the problem. The issue lies when you guys act as though she's not doing anything spectacular or big. Like, this woman for 20 plus years now, if you include Destiny's Child as well, has sang live, has performed in fucking heels for hours, have given you flawless albums and themes and all these things for years. And to say that it's like, oh, it's just whatever, it's run of the mill, is trash. It's absolutely trash. And as much as I hate to use ad hominem, if you don't know what that means, look up logical fallacies. Ad hominem is basically when you attack the person instead of attacking the argument. I hate to use ad hominem, but I got to in this point. If at this point you can see a performance of Beyonce like she did on Coachella and still pretend as though she's not a phenomenal performer and that she's on a different playing field, then your opinion doesn't deserve to be listened to. That lets me know that you have trash ass taste and just overall, like, criticism. Like, your opinion is not to be trusted. If you can honestly look at something like she did on Saturday and say, it's whatever, but then you like somebody like Ashanti or somebody else who's lackluster instead, nah, you can't be trusted. Sorry, you just can't. Like, I don't trust your opinion. I don't want any recommendations from you. I don't want anything from you because obviously you're ignorant. And like I said, it's one thing not to be a fan, but to sit there and disrespect somebody's talent when you see it there clear as day and you see that they're working harder than anybody else in that same field and you still like, it's whatever. Trash. Absolute trash. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I'm done with you Beyonce haters. Her performance was everything. I loved everything about it. I have it downloaded to my computer so I can watch it whenever the fuck I want to watch it because it was amazing. And especially since we haven't gotten a Formation digital release, this works for me because that was pretty much a Formation tour with an HBCU flair to it. I mean, granted, with the band and all that stuff made a whole nother thing, but the set list and the B stage and how they perform was very much Formation. So I was like, hell yes. So I'm excited because now I can watch this until my heart's content. So super excited. Another person I was excited to see over the weekend, you can probably guess, was Cardi B, who I am obsessed with. I love her. I've talked about her the last two shows. I mean, I love her ratchet ass. I really do. She's like my little sister or cousin or whatever. I just love everything about her. And so her set was lit as fuck. Like, it was so lit. I just love that. First of all, she paid homage to Left Eye. Well, TLC. She posted a picture of TLC and saying that was her mood. And so the outfit was very much when they went to the Grammys, I think in 95 or 96. That was a year where they said they didn't have no money and they had an attitude in the press room. They had the white on. So she did like a Left Eye kind of tribute with her look, and it was super cute. And I loved how lit her set was. Like, she was up there fully pregnant, twerking, like twerking hard. Like, we're like, girl, like, you go fucking break that water. It's too early for all this shit, girl. But she was getting it. And damn near everybody who was featured on her album came out on stage, sans SZA and Migos, which I was talking to Wabi about it. I did side eye Offset. I'm like, nigga, like, your set is like in 2 hours after hers. Like, you're at Coachella. Like, you couldn't just run over real quick and just run out just to be present on her Coachella set. I don't know. I felt a way about it. I know I don't know their situation. It could have been scheduling, could have been anything. I know that entertainment industry, there's always stuff going on, and she probably wasn't tripping. But when I saw that Chance the Rapper, 21 Savage, YG, Kalani, G-Eazy, all these people came out in her set to perform with her. And it was just like, damn, everybody's here but your fiance, aka baby daddy. Like, damn, like, fuck. I don't know, I just felt a way about it, but her set was lit. It was super fun, and I'm just super happy for her glow up. She's hilarious, and I can only praise Cardi B. She's dope, man. Like, she's so dope. Her album is lit. I still got it on repeat. Still got it on repeat. Like, it's so good. And then the only other performance I watched and enjoyed outside of those two that I saw was Miguel. I've seen Miguel in concert quite a few times. When he first came out, like the first couple albums, I saw him so many times. It was kind of like I would either go with like Garrick or it just so happened that I ended up seeing him live. And Miguel has always put on a great show. And I forgot how good his shows were until I watched the Coachella performance. Like, damn, this is actually, it was a good move. Like, he has great set lists. Like, they're always cohesive. There's a nice sequencing to them. There's a certain sexiness that he exudes. There's a certain hype nature that happens. And I really enjoyed his performance a lot. So those are the three from Coachella that I really enjoy. So what did you guys think of the Coachella performances? Let me know. You can go on Twitter, tag Outline Podcast, or you can use the official hashtag the Outline Podcast. So let me know what you thought about the Coachella performances. If you watched it, if you were there, how was that? If you didn't watch it, didn't care, let me know. I want to know either way. Just engage with me. So last Thursday, I believe, Nicki Minaj released 2 new songs, Barbie Tings and Chun-Li. I really hate saying Barbie Tings. It just sounds so stupid, but whatever. She released Chun-Li and Barbie Tings. Both songs are consistent to her brand and well produced. Nicki has always been a dope rapper to me, and she's super talented. I'd never say otherwise. I fucks with Nicki. But my issue as of late with Onika are her politics, her ego, and her forgetfulness. Like, she's really been irritating the fuck out of me for like the last 2 years. And this has nothing to do with her music. I still like Plain Jane remix, that shit with A$AP Ferg, that's my shit. Nicki's verse is dope as fuck on that shit. Like, I fucks with Nicki as a rapper, but her personal industry, whatever, her politics drive me insane. Like, I give her major side eyes. So last week she had a interview with Zane Lowe on Beats One, and she gave an award-winning performance and even teared up during this damn interview. And I'm like, girl, stop this shit right now. And she said that Cardi B hurt her feelings because she felt as though the first interview that Cardi gave about motorsport, she just didn't really praise her about it. Instead, she just talked about how she changed her verse. And she just felt like that was just disrespectful. And she's just like, well, and this is not verbatim, but along the lines of it. She's like, well, when I was coming up, if I was on a track with an artist that I really looked up to, I would be singing their praises like I did with Trina. And she just didn't do that for me. And my feelings were just hurt by that. You know, I'm not trying to toot my own horn. Yes, you are, bitch. I'm not trying to toot my own horn. Yes, you are, bitch. But I just would have, you know, I would have went about it differently. And I was just like, how interesting is this? Let's just break this down. I gave this a major side eye for a few reasons. Number one, Motorsport came out months ago and has passed, it's moved on, it's ascended down the charts. No one's talking about the shit anymore. The only thing that's happening now is Cardi B is lit right now and everybody is loving Cardi B. So I felt like Nicki was using that as a ploy to be a part of the conversation, like she does with any rapper. Second, which moves right into the next point. Nicki has an issue with every other woman that raps except Trina and Lauryn Hill. I thought it was funny that she could only list Trina because she sneak disses every fucking body. And she has an issue with anybody that people like. It's not all her fault because we live in this world. We have this idea that there can only be one big black person at one time. There can only be one woman who raps at one time. And none of this is actually true, but we love to feed into the idea that they're always beefing, there's always drama in between them. So it's not completely her fault, but she plays right into it and it makes it trash. And I'm really hoping that Cardi says nothing. Like, Cardi's been quiet, and I hope Cardi stays quiet. Cardi's like, listen, I'm not trying to beef. I'm not trying to be nobody's queen. I'm just trying to make this money and have some fun. And I hope Cardi keeps that attitude. Don't say shit. Let Nicki do whatever the fuck she's doing because it's silly. But she only listed Trina and Lauryn Hill as people that like, oh yeah, you know, if I did something with Trina and I love her ever since. And you know, and she claims that she looks up to Lauryn Hill, even though she completely stole Lil' Kim's swag, like completely stole it. And that's just the most disrespectful thing, but that's another point I'm going to make later. Third, Nicki sneak disses everyone, and then she acts like she's the victim. She throws rocks and hides her hands. Like, she did it with fucking Remy. She did it with Azalea Banks. She does it with Iggy. She does it with all these people. She always says shit, and then when people come for her, she's like, what are you talking about, bitch? I was minding my business. Like, that's just annoying. And it's a part of the game. It's a part of hip hop. It's a part of rap. Men do it too. But it just sucks because female rap is so limited. You want them to have more unity. Like, there's so many fucking bland ass male rappers out there, and they're just duplicates. Duplicate. But we have very little female rappers, and it's like we have this idea that only one can reign, and that shit is fucking trash, man. And we have to dismantle that. So it sucks that Cardi and Nicki are even being pit against each other. It sucks so much. But moving on. She was talking shit about having to change her verse on Motorsport, making it seem like she was doing Cardi a favor. I don't know if you guys haven't heard the first verse, the original verse leaked. And so on the first verse, Nicki actually tried to S-O-N Cardi, saying like, if Cardi is the QB, then I'm Nick Lombardi. Speaking of, I think it's like Van Lombardi, who's a coach he's a coach in football. So basically she's saying like, oh, Cardi B is jocking my style. And so therefore, you know, she comes after me, which is that's a sneak fucking diss. And that's what Cardi's talking about. Like, don't be sneak dissing me. But here's the thing that cracks me up about that. Nicki is acting like she did Cardi a favor, but she's ignoring the fact that it wasn't her song to begin with. You were featured on it too. So why would Cardi be kissing your ass for a song? It's not your song that's featuring her. It's actually Migos song that's featuring you both. So why should she be praising you because you're on the same track? Fuck that shit. On top of that, you were sneak dissing her, and her man is in fucking Migos. You think he was gonna sit back and let you sneak diss her on his fucking track? That's stupid. Like, you had to change that shit. That's why Atlantic asked you. That's why Quavo asked you. Because who wants that fucking drama? That's his fucking cousin's. That's his cousin's girl. You can't diss her on the same track that she's now gonna be featured on. So what do you didn't do her no fucking favor? Like, that's just straight up politics. It's her nigga shit. So of course she was gonna outweigh you on that one. So get the fuck out of here with that shit. And then, hold on, let me get my shit together. You know, I have my notes here. I had it in order. So yeah, so it's just kind of like that was a power play. Like, you're fucking a nigga, you're engaged to this nigga, you having a baby by this nigga. You really think that you're gonna sit here and diss her, sneak diss her on the same song she's featured? Nah, that ain't gonna work. Also, Nicki detracts from her own talent when she does shit. And it's mad ironic because we haven't forgotten how much she dragged Lil' Kim and didn't show her the proper respect or paid homage to her. Yet Nicki Minaj acts like she deserves to have her ass kicked, as if hip hop didn't even exist before 2008. Like, Nicki Minaj really acts like female rap didn't exist before her. Yes, there was a time where the industry was empty and no one else was really popping. So she came out and she was able to benefit from that. And she's mad talented and she definitely deserves the accolades that she receives. However, we're not going to sit here and act like people didn't come before her. And when she raps, the shit she says and her lyrics, she really acts like she's really out here birthing motherfuckers. Like, she really like everything comes after her. Nah, girl, you actually ripped your image from someone else. And we all know that, but we let you rock because you're talented and you're beautiful. But girl, we ain't forgot how you dragged Lil' Kim. And now you want the same fucking respect from someone who was actually in the new generation of music, but you didn't give that same little respect to Lil' Kim. So it's kind of like, girl, get the fuck out of here. Just stick to music. Keep putting out tracks, put out a great album. I hope this album is everything you say it is. And I'm rooting for you, Nicki. I do enjoy you. I still enjoy your music, but your politics need some brushing up. Like, you need better people in your corner to let you know that you're being petty. And that, like, niggas ain't gotta kiss your ass just because they're like, it's like, nah, they ain't gotta kiss your ass at all. Like, that's not a part of the game. Like, you didn't pay fucking homage, so why should they pay homage to you? Like, it seems like karma to me. But that's all I have to say on that. What are your thoughts on Nicki Minaj's politics? Leave your comments on the official Instagram page and make sure you use hashtag the Outline Podcast. And yeah, let me know your thoughts. I'll let you know mine. And it is what it is. But Nicki's mad talented. And I want her to continue winning. I just need her to change up the way she goes about this shit. These beefs are stupid. They're dumb at this point because she's becoming the common denominator in every other female rapper. And it's crazy that they all can work together, but she doesn't work with any of them. And that's trash. It's absolute trash. But whatever. Great news and record-breaking feat for Kendrick Lamar. His 2017 full-length album, Damn, which won Best Rap Album at the Grammys, was also awarded the 2018 Pulitzer Prize in Music. This achievement makes him the first non-jazz or classical artist to win the prestigious award. Like, this is just, it's amazing. Like, I love Kendrick Lamar. He's one of my favorite rappers along with J. Cole, and I just love to see them win. So I'm super excited for him because Kendrick Lamar puts so much into his work when it comes, like, his music. Like, if you listen to his albums, it's literally like you can see them visually. It's literally like the feeling you get when you watch a movie. Now, my favorite album will always be To Pimp a Butterfly, and then also Good Kid, Mad City is like a close second. But Damn was really good too, and I'm glad that he's getting accolades for his work because it's more than just rap. Like, he literally, like, down to like the artists he works with and just how he, once again, the cohesiveness and the sequencing. Like, Kendrick Lamar does a great job at creating like music that has eras. Very much kind of like, it's kind of how I feel about Janet Jackson. Janet Jackson, every time she released the album, it had its own kind of feel to it. It always had this kind of when you press play, you were in this era and you felt the difference between albums. Kendrick Lamar has that same kind of feeling where it's like it's a whole movement, it's a whole thing that's going on. So I'm really proud of Kendrick. And he's from, he's from Compton, so I'm super amped about that. Congratulations to him. Now we're going to take a quick break, but when we get back, I'm going to talk a little bit about the delusion of keeping it real. Hey, hope you're enjoying this episode of the Outline Podcast. You can stream all episodes of the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn Radio, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play Music, Libsyn, and KevinDwayne.com. Please be sure to rate, share, and comment on all platforms. And make sure you add to the conversation by using the official hashtag, the Outline Podcast. If you wish to submit a topic or a question to be answered on the show, please send an email to theoutlinepodcast@gmail.com. Welcome back to the Outline Podcast. It's safe to say we all, and when I mean that, we all have met people who shoot straight from the hip with no filter. We know that one person who isn't going to sugarcoat anything they say to you, and you can be sure you are getting the raw and real truth. It is very important that we have these type of people in our lives, as they will be great for keeping us grounded in reality and even ensure we're being logical in our decision making and on the right path. There's definitely a plus to these type of personalities. There is nothing wrong with being factual and direct. There is, however, something wrong with being insulting and rude while camouflaging it as keeping it real or keeping it 100. This has become one of the most overused and, might I add, lazy excuses for being nasty and mean to others. One thing about maturity is developing social awareness and understanding time, place, nuance. Not everything is black and white 100% of the time, so we shouldn't apply limited answers to a multitude of questions. Saying whatever comes to your mind without care or regard for the energy you're putting into your immediate environment is disrespectful. We've all heard the quote, "It's not what you say, it's how you say it." Like, a lot of times it's not even the truth that hurts, it's how it's delivered. And you have a lot of people who are out here delivering what they think is truth in a very harsh and crazy way. Many feel as though if they aren't insulting you or have that grit, that they aren't influencing you, and that's just not true. I've personally grown tired of the unsavory people who believe that they're being real 24/7, when in reality, it's kind of laziness. It lacks couth, it lacks social awareness, and it drives me crazy. It absolutely drives me crazy. And especially as I guess become a little more popular. I say that so lightly. I'm getting more and more people who feel like they're they've been sent to humble me. I don't know what it is, but I see a lot more rude and crazy comments. I'm like, what do you get out of this? Like, what exactly is your goal? I know that for some people it's a power play. People like to say rude things because they want to get a reaction out of you, and I'm not one to get a reaction out of. Like, I'm the type of person who, I have my friends who I confide in, so if somebody does something to me, I can talk to them in private, vent about it, and get over it. But you're not going to get a response from me. I'm not going to go back and forth with you because I don't celebrate ignorance, and I wouldn't dare give you the attention that you actually want from me. That doesn't make any sense. But I do think that this whole keeping it real thing has become a toxic behavior for some. So what really made me think about this was I saw a tweet the other day, and I wish I would have saved it so I could read it verbatim, but it was along the lines of this. It said, "You ever notice that people who pride themselves on keeping it real, you'll never hear them say something like, 'You have great success and it makes me jealous.'" That touched me in a great way because that's real. Now that's real. It's like keeping it real is always being put in this negative light. Like, oh yeah, like it's always on some negative shit. I'm keeping it real. That you look ugly, you look fat, you can't sing. You should stick to your day job. But it's never keeping it real on some positive shit. Why is that? It's never like, okay, I'm threatened by your success. I'm actually jealous of you. You never hear that from people who pride themselves on keeping it real. Why is keeping it real always negative? Why do we think that real is always bad? Why can't real be good? Real good things happen in this world. Real good things happen to real good people. Reality doesn't always have to be negative. And I don't know, it really had me thinking. It's the same thing when people misuse the idea of being a realist. Uh, Realism is a real thing. Like, I know a lot of people who are realists. I even consider myself a realist on many terms, where I'm just like, okay, I can be very realistic. But one can be factual, logical, and realistic, but it doesn't mean they also can't be optimistic and kind and thoughtful and socially aware. Being a realist doesn't mean an asshole or rude or insulting. Once again, that's just being lazy and not having couth and social awareness and having the wherewithal to take the higher road. I hope this is all making sense. This is, how I get on these things. Um, Once again, like, what does one gain from being mean, curt, or insulting? I don't get it. I honestly, at the end of the day, this quick little message is literally, I challenge listeners, just really think about what you're putting out into the world. Think about when you say those things and you're hiding it behind being real or whatever, or whether you're giving advice or you really want to help people. Think about how you're presenting it and understand that it's not even the words. It's not even the truth. It's how you're presenting it. And I just ask that, have a little more thoughtfulness to how you're speaking to people. Have a little bit more patience for people, especially your friends and family. Like, people are going through a series of things at all times, and you never know what it is, or if they're even sharing it with you. And how you present things to them can make a world of difference. So just be careful with that. And I just want to repeat this one more time. There's nothing wrong with being logical, factual, and even realistic, but being insulting and rude just for the hell of it because you feel like that's the only way you know how to be, it's lazy. It's super lazy. Like, being an asshole or being petty or being messy, those are super easy things to do. It takes no effort. You can just do it because it's just animalistic and it's just like whatever. It's raw. But actually being thoughtful, kind, and really processing what you're thinking before actually saying the stuff, that takes effort. And I think more and more people need to look to do that. Like, real talk, because these things matter, man. It matters when building really good friendships and bonds with people and whatever it is. And we have enough people in the earth who feel like they're keeping it real. We have enough people who are mean. We have enough people who are messy. We have enough people who gossip. We have enough negativity. But what we do need more of is positivity. And we do need more of softness and niceness and ways of connecting. And I just feel like this idea of being real all the time, and I mean in a negative way, and I'm completely separating it from people who are just direct. You can be direct without being an asshole. There's definitely a separation there. But this is really dividing us, and I'm trying to get to a place where we come together. And I think we really gotta not fall into the delusional trap of keeping it real to the point that we're no longer creating bonds with people because our brand has become rudeness. Yes, that concludes that. That's exactly what it is. When your brand becomes rudeness, you're no longer creating connections. And that is the delusion of keeping it real. That's all I got this week, you guys. As I said before, there won't be a show next week because I'll be on vacation, but I will kind of miss you guys, but I'll also be on vacation. So I'm going to be kind of enjoying the time off. But I will be back the first week of May with the episode with Michelle Prada and Melissa Barrera from the show Vita on Stars. Great show, great interview. I can't wait for you guys to hear it. But until then, make sure you engage with me, and I will talk to you next time. Peace out.